I just thought this woman is really doing something quite dreadful to Britain, and Harry has fallen in love with her in a ludicrous way and has gone along as her accomplice.
We landed in Canada, and one of our security guards who had been with H for so long, these guys were so wonderful, I just collapsed in his arms crying. I was like, I tried so hard. He goes, I know you did, ma'am, I know you did.
Harry and Meghan are going to be petrified about the idea of Tom Bauer snooping back into their married life, right?
I realized how successful she'd been. Here was a woman who was nothing. I mean, born, broken family, the whole thing, unknown actress, all the rest of it, becomes a global star, which is what she wanted. When she was about 9 or 10, she said to her father, I want to be famous, I want to walk down the red carpet. And she has now done that. And she's calculated that she could be a great success. And by marrying Harry, she did it.
In some ways, he does despise his wife. I mean, we saw that on the recent Middle Eastern tour when he was constantly rejecting her attempt at public displays of affection because he knows that what she's doing is like ownership. It's not about love. It's not about affection. It's about ownership, and it's about showing the world who is in control, and he can't stand that.
When Queen Camilla told a friend that Meghan had brainwashed Harry, the world treated it like gossip, a throwaway line, tabloid fodder wrapped in royal silk.
But she had one amazing ability, which was to find a man who needed her.
Oh.
And she played him brilliantly. The actress was sensational.
Tom Bauer's new book, Betrayal, releasing March 26th, proves it was something else entirely, not gossip, a diagnosis. And the evidence behind it is so specific, so layered, and so financially devastating that Harry and Meghan's own response accidentally turned the book into a #1 bestseller before it even hit shelves.
Well, you know, Piers, you're the first person to say how limited Prince Harry is, unfortunately, and how his wife trades off her husband's fame and fortune, or not so great fortune now. I mean, this is the problem, but we're still interested because, after all, he's a great character in our modern day.
Here's what Bauer actually wrote. Camilla didn't just drop the word brainwashed and move on. She listed receipts. Harry was ignoring old friends. He changed his phone number, didn't tell his own family. His personality, she said, began mirroring Meghan's. Simple dislikes became passionate hatred. The jovial lad about town became, in Bauer's words, possessed by seeking revenge.
You know, I think that's why he cuts quite a lonely figure. Because his friends have all throughout his life do feel ostracized, he is just a bit of a lonely soul, where she's got her friends in America. He, though, is very much on his own, and I think it's quite sad.
Now, 6 words to a friend. That's easy to dismiss. But what Bauer found across 300+ pages isn't a quote. It's a pattern, one that moves from friendships to family to institutions to charities to Harry's own commercial value. And it follows the same sequence every time. Isolation, control, collapse. Hold that phone number detail. It comes back.
Like, I tried so hard.
She has a narrative, and she's a very domineering woman. She controls everything.
Most channels covering this book will read you the brainwashed quote and stop. That's the headline. Bauer's evidence runs deeper. The Times serialization, which dropped Friday, March 13th, describes a man who didn't just drift from his family. He was rerouted. Encouraged by Meghan, Bauer writes, Harry began asserting greater independence from palace management, rejecting the traditional role of the royal spare associated with his uncle Prince Edward.
There's an appalling narcissism there, an appalling self-interest. It's self-love. That, especially for Meghan, everything is about self-love.
Yes.
Which is become a sort of her survival instinct. Everything is about her.
Old friends, cut. Phone number, changed without telling relatives. Palace advisors, bypassed.
He is having a breakdown in real time. We see it. He is completely unable to hide the totally complex feelings that come to the fore every time he is in public with Meghan Markle.
Then came the confrontation. Bauer describes a 2018 meeting at Kensington Palace where William and Catherine tried to intervene. During that conversation, Meghan allegedly told William to take his finger out of her face. William had already warned Harry before the engagement. The relationship with the American actress was moving too fast.
20 years ago, that woman would not be able to marry a working member of the British royal family. Even though she's an actress, even though she's playing a role, that is just beneath the British royal family.
Catherine, according to the book, believed Meghan, lamented Harry's unlikely chances of one day being king. Here's the thing, one isolated claim about controlling behavior. That's a grudge. Two claims from different people, that's a coincidence. But when Camilla, William, Catherine, and, as you'll hear in a moment, a charity executive and a professional brand auditor all describe the same trajectory independently, that stops being coincidence. That's convergent testimony.
Not in a million years did Meghan think that she was going to score Prince Harry. She thought she was going to score Andrew until Fergie put a stop to it.
And what happened at Centibale is where this story shifts from royal gossip into something much harder to ignore. In 2023, Dr. Sophie Chandoka, a Zimbabwean-born corporate finance lawyer with an MBE, became chair of Centibale's board of trustees, Harry's charity, the one he co-founded to help children in Lesotho, the one he once called his life's work.
And having somebody like Dr. Sophie Chandoka, who Harry and Meghan see as being beneath them, tell them, listen, we've done a brand audit and it sucks.
Chandoka didn't show up to stroke egos. She showed up with data. During a fundraising flight from Singapore to Tokyo, funded by Japanese philanthropist Haruhisa Handa, Chandoka presented Harry with the results of a brand audit she'd conducted across 50 organizations and donors. 50, not 5. 50 separate entities. Asked one question: do you want to be associated with Prince Harry?
So where has all the money gone? A few months later, in autumn 2025, the Sussexes faced a harsh reality. The foreign tours and the Invictus competition had been lucrative, yet they were fast running out of money. With high security costs, they needed every year at least $3 million after paying tax to survive.
Yeah, I think professionally they've gone down dramatically, and I predicted it in the book, but even I would not have thought it'd be that accelerated.
And this is where the story gets quiet. Because according to Bauer, Chandoka sat across from Harry on that flight and told him something nobody had said to his face before. His personal brand value had crashed. Donors didn't want to be associated with his Netflix projects. And, this is the line that went viral, people don't want to be associated with your Netflix shows, and especially not with Meghan. Meghan, Chandoka told him, had little brand value in America. And globally, she was actively damaging whatever Harry had left.
Harry has a problem because he's lost his charity Centibale in Africa. He's better up and all these commercial deals are declining. I think that his reputation is somewhat toxic, and I think Invictus is his only lifeline, and there'll be problems with that too.
Harry's response told you everything. He didn't ask for details. He didn't request a second audit. He reached for the only comparison he could think of. Johnny Depp, he said, had still attracted money despite his brutal courtroom fight with Amber Heard. Couldn't he do the same?
There's no comparison there because Harry continues to back Meghan Markle, publicly back her and all of her terrible behavior, not to mention the fact that Johnny Depp has always been a bad boy film star rather than a royal trying to do good in the world.
Chandoka's answer, according to Bauer, was 4 words. Times have changed, she followed up. We need American corporates who want to be associated with your mission, not you personally. They don't want your victimhood.
That's only gonna work, Harry, once you kick Meghan to the curb and blow the whistle on her terrible behavior.
Let that land for a second. A charity executive, someone Harry appointed, is sitting on an airplane at 40,000 feet, telling a prince that his wife is destroying his earning power, and his best reference point is a Hollywood actor who won a defamation trial against his ex-wife. That's not a PR crisis. That's a man searching for lifelines in a sinking cabin.
What Meghan never really understood, probably not even now, is that when she was cheered as a working royal, it wasn't because she was Meghan Markle, it was because she represented British royalty and all the values of the Queen and all the tradition and 1,000 years of history.
And here's the part that genuinely unsettles me. Bauer claims Harry initially accepted the findings. He visited Lesotho for the first time in 6 years, October 2024. Something shifted, but then, according to the book, Meghan became involved. And once she did, Harry allegedly tried to seize control of Centibale. He claimed the audit caused him psychological harm, not the results. The act of measuring. By March 2025, Harry and co-founder Prince Siso both resigned from Centibale. The UK Charity Commission investigated. In August 2025, they cleared Harry of widespread or systemic bullying. But the charity Harry built for orphans in Southern Africa, done. The woman who told him the truth, gone. The pattern Camilla described in 6 words played out across 2 continents over 18 months.
in Meghan's mind, she is Diana.
Yes.
I mean, Diana Spencer is Meghan Spencer. And that was all part of her imagination that somehow she could inherit the glow of her dead mother-in-law. So I think that was another reason for Charles to say no. Sussexes only will talk to people who repeat their own narrative.
Yes.
And who they can control. So the idea that you could get the truth from the Sussexes is contradiction.
The smartest move Meghan and Harry could have made about this book? Silence. Ignore it. Let the news cycle chew through it in 72 hours and move on. They did the opposite. On March 14th, 2026, 12 days before publication, the Sussexes spokesperson released a statement to People Newsweek and GB News simultaneously. They called Bauer's work deranged conspiracy and melodrama.
They said Mr. Bauer's commentary has long crossed the line from criticism into fixation. This is someone who has publicly stated the monarchy, in fact, depends on actually obliterating the Sussexes from our state of life, language that speaks for itself.
They said he'd long crossed the line from criticism into fixation. They accused him of constructing ever more elaborate theories about people he does not know and has never met. Bauer fired back through the Daily Express. He said the Sussexes were reaching the end of the road in Hollywood and criticized their suffocating self-importance. And then the numbers came in. By March 15th, before a single copy shipped, Betrayal hit #1 on Amazon's bestseller chart. The Sussexes had just given the book more publicity than Bauer's publisher could have bought with a £1 million marketing budget.
Just remember, Harry and Meghan threatened to sue at the drop of a hat, and they have never tried to sue Tom Bauer because they know what he writes is true.
PR expert Renee Smith, founder of Atticism, told The Express the response made the couple look deeply bothered. She said Bauer had hit a nerve, not necessarily because every claim was accurate, but because the claims were close enough to an existing public narrative to sting. And that's the surgical insight. The Sussexes didn't deny a single specific claim, not the brand audit, not the Chandauka testimony, not the isolation pattern. They attacked the author. That's not a rebuttal. That's a tell. Remember that phone number? The one Harry changed without telling his family? The same playbook. When someone delivers unwelcome information, a brother, a charity chair, an author, the response isn't to address the content, it's to remove the messenger.
I think she is a person who's done huge damage to the royal family, has been deeply, deeply inaccurate on many issues, and is of absolutely no value either to the royal family or society, but she just sucks from it, she takes from it and exploits it and profits from it.
Meghan seems like she could be on the Sarah Ferguson path.
She always looks good. She always survives. You never see a moment of weakness
Right.
in public. I mean, Meghan is a consummate survival actress.
This pattern has a historical name, and the royal family recognized it immediately. According to biographer Ingrid Seward, Prince Philip privately gave Meghan a nickname, Duchess of Windsor, Wallis Simpson. The parallels are impossible to miss. An American woman enters the royal family. The prince becomes isolated from friends and advisors. The couple leaves or is pushed out. The man's public role evaporates.
I think she has a major problem. And I think as of this week, the signal for her great problem is that she turned up at Kevin Costner's party for the emergency workers.
Which she skipped
California.
last year. She skipped that last year. That's a great point.
Skipped
That
it
she
last year.
Biographer Sally Bedell Smith put it plainly. An American woman came into the picture and changed the dynamic of the whole thing. Now, before anyone says I'm oversimplifying, there are differences. Revisionist historians argue Wallis actually tried to discourage the abdication, that Edward was the controlling one, that she was a convenient scapegoat for a weak king. Fair enough.
One observer called her limpet cling. She struck a bespotted pose as a gesture of ownership that speaks of enduring bonding.
History is complicated, but Bauer's book doesn't compare Meghan to Wallis. It compares the system, the sequence, the way a royal prince's support network gets dismantled, friend by friend, advisor by advisor, until the only voice left in the room belongs to one person. Philip saw it, Camilla saw it, and now Bauer is arguing the evidence confirms it.
I came across with the impression of a woman who is very intelligent, very determined, very ambitious, but also ruthless. And in the end, in her terms, successful.
So where does this leave Harry? According to Bauer, terrified.
But what we've seen recently is the wokest of the woke turn on Harry and Meghan. It's their own kind turning on them.
The book claims Harry fears that future King William could strip the Sussex titles entirely, a fear Bauer calls right. William hasn't spoken publicly, but multiple royal sources describe the relationship as permanently severed. The brothers shared the same space at Lord Robert Fellowes' funeral in Norfolk, August 2024. They didn't speak, they didn't sit together, they didn't acknowledge each other. Royal expert Ian Pelham Turner was asked directly whether William would welcome Harry back. His answer, a big fat royal no.
I think that's the whole issue, that they were globally, and they are globally known, but because of the way they behaved in the last 4 or 5 years, and as the price of betrayal, they are now, their reputation and their status and their fortunes are crumbling.
Look, I'm working with the same public reporting as everyone else. The analysis is mine, the facts are on the record. But when you line them up, Camilla's warning, the isolation of friends, the Kensington confrontation, the Chandauka audit, the Centiball collapse, the messenger killing response to Bauer, the Wallace-Simpson parallel that Philip himself drew, the story isn't about one quote from one queen to one friend. It's about a pattern that 5 different people, across 5 different years, all described independently, and every single one of them was attacked for saying it. The question isn't whether Camilla was exaggerating, the question is why she was the polite one. But here's the thing, the brainwashed quote and the brand audit are just the opening chapters. What Bauer uncovered about the Invictus Games in Vancouver is a different kind of explosive. 43 paying spectators at a wheelchair basketball match. Canadian executives calling Meghan bling, not rehabilitation. And one specific moment, caught on camera, involving a veteran's wheelchair that Bauer describes in devastating detail. That breakdown is coming next, and it changes how you see every Invictus photo the Sussexes have ever posted. This is Star Spotlight. The book drops March 26th. The story won't.